Welcome back. On the bench tonight, Steve Munyakho, Abdul Karim, his mother Dorothy Kweo, and Ken Bosiro, a member of the Bring Back Steve campaign, which finally led to getting back into the country of Steve. So back to you, Steve. From 2019, what happened then after you went back?
2019, I was summoned to court, and that is when the 10 million figure came about. But then came COVID. So everything went at a standstill until 2022. So everything just, no courts, no anything. Yeah. Until 2022. So that's when it was picked up from there again. Yeah. So one night, the officers from the prison department, they came to me and told me the figure has been reduced from 10 million to 5 million.
Saudi Riyal?
Yes, from 10 million to 5 million Saudi Riyals. That was late at night, around 11:30. So I was like, well. So the first thing I did, I called the embassy in the morning, and to my surprise, nobody picked my call. And then I was like, how come? So I kept on calling for the next 2 weeks until I finally found them. And then I found that actually they were on leave. Yeah. So I said, I got this message. Did it reach you? Because normally they were not supposed to bring that message to me. They were supposed to deliver it to the embassy, but they brought it to me, you know. So that's why I was like, how come? But then when I said, did it reach them, they said, initially they said they had not seen it. Thereafter they said, no, it is here. It's just, we had just come back from holiday. Yeah, it's here. So they said they would pursue it from there, you know. So we kept on waiting on that figure, seeing if it will be reduced and all, because that's when the actual negotiation started of trying to negotiate for the reduction, you know.
From the 5 million? From
the 5 million. And that's how we were summoned to court, the Mujahids and myself. And the judge asked them if they can reduce the figure. And they were not willing to reduce the figure. So he said the case will be had on a later date. So that's how we parted.
Yeah.
Yeah, so until 2023, when Panabalozi, Range came in and was like negotiated. Actually, the initial negotiations were Ambassador Peter Ogego, yeah, through the governor's office of Makkah. So they wanted an update. So it was just like handing a baton to the next, because Ambassador Ogego handed the baton next to Ambassador Range, who took it from there, and we had the negotiations now for the reduction until it reached that 3.5.
Which was 150 million Kenya.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
All this time you were in prison still?
Of course.
How was your daily routine?
My daily routine, as I told you, this time now we are in Shimesi. Mm-hmm. And Shimesi, they actually, Durban, we had Saudis and foreigners. But now Shimesi was exclusively for the foreigners, you know, and it was like a dormitory type of setup. So the day is just like the same as Briman before. You wake up, you pray, you sleep, you eat. That's how life goes on. Okay. If you have time, there's an open area, you can do your press-ups and all. That's the day, you know. And if you are a fan of TV, you'll go and watch TV. Otherwise, nothing, no books, no nothing.
Were you following events back at home?
Well, if I would call, you know, I would hear, I would get an update of what is going on.
When did you convert to Islam?
When did I convert to Islam? That was way back in 2012.
Just 1 year after the first sentencing?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And actually, an officer had come to me and asked me, what is your case? What happened to you? And then I was explaining to him, this is what happened. And he told me that, you know what? This imprisonment of yours was written for you even before you came from your mother's womb. It's a decree from the Lord himself. So don't feel down, lift up your spirits, and know that you've been given a second chance, you know? So he had some paraphernalia, you know, some books out, like religious books, English, that he gave me to read, you know, that he told me, just read and understand what I was talking about, you know. And then I went through the books and I was like, okay, I see. So I never thought of that, you know. You know, initially, there was this thing of, inshallah. Back there in Saudi, people don't use it the way it's supposed to be used. They will tell you that, but they don't mean it from inside. It's just by the mouth. That is what brought our problem in the first instance. Because I was promised by the word, inshallah. I believed in him, but he never did what he was supposed to do. You see? But then I later learned that inshallah indeed is Allah's will. When he wills is want that time, you know. So he can will now, he can will later, you know. You can never say when. So that's why I came up with this kwa wakati wake. You know? That is when I came up with this kwa wakati wake. And it has carried me all along up to this time. Yeah. You know? So after reading the books and understanding that this is what it's all about, you know, and also I needed, you know, they say if you can't beat them, you join them, you know. I needed to mingle because to see what is in the inside, I needed to understand Sharia law. Why are they slapping on me this death sentence? And I cannot get that if I don't read more, go in depth. So how can I go in depth, you know? So that one gradually led me into understanding, and gradually that's how I came to embrace Islam. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. We'll talk about the fast forward of all those events. Mm-hmm. Dorothy, the 3.5 million Saudi riyals, did you find hope?
No, as I told you before we went into break, 3.5 million translated to 150 million Kenya shillings was not money that I could raise in my lifetime. And I made it known to the diaspora office. And well, theirs was to let me know that there was that window, you know. And as I said, my son, Cyprian, who is my second son, you know, was extremely upbeat. He said, Mom, inawezekana. It is possible. For me, that figure just deflated me completely. I knew he was in a bad place, but I never imagined that that amount could be slapped on my son. We are of very humble means, you know. And I didn't see how that money would come. And yeah, but that hope came, and I said, okay, if kama inawezekana, if it's possible, then let me start by looking into how it is going to be possible. And my first move was to seek a pay bill so that we fundraise. And it was important. When we went, we were asked, where is the evidence? And the diaspora office gave us a letter. They were categorical that they're not giving us permission to fundraise. They are only giving evidence that this matter is there, because it's not our business to lobby for fundraising or something. So at least we had a document to show that indeed this is a matter.
There's something ongoing.
Yes. So it was just, this is to confirm that. And the letter gave the details. Okay. Yeah. And it was renewed at least 3 times until the Muslim World League stepped in, you know. But even then, when we started, it took a while to get the pay bill. It was about around 25th, 26th November there, when I was summoned to pick the letter and given the account, the blood money account details. Okay. And but it was not until February that we got the letter, and it was like fundraising is not just something you go and you get, you know, especially when it is that matter. Okay. It had to go through vetting and including through the Communications Authority. Right. Yeah. And yes, eventually it came. My initial thought was just to do it among friends and family. But there's this friend of mine who is a journalist like me, Jen Godia, who told me, you'll have to go public. And I said, this is a private matter. How do I go public? And she just told me tersely that then your son is not going to come back. And it was like I was jolted into shock. That is when I sent out the WhatsApp messages that he's talking about, and that is how I picked the strategy team, yeah, that eventually worked to deliver Steve back to us. Yeah.
Okay. And Ken, how did the intervention of the Muslim World League scale up the money, and how was it finally paid?
Sorry. First of all, I just want to mention that when we got the WhatsApp message and we talked, we are senior members of the profession, and we said we have some social capital that we could actually use, and professional capital. Because in that team, I told you there's Joe Dindo, who became our chairman, who's a very senior journalist. There's Wangedi Mwangi, Pamela Stoney, and of course the family members who are in there, Henry Maina, there was Sipo, there was Emmeline, and of course Mom. We met every night on Mondays and Thursdays, and for 2 to 3 hours. Sometimes we'll say it's 1 hour and then we do. But what gave us hope at first was how we decided to tackle it. It's not to look at the figure as a block. Yeah. Sipo was very important in trying to break the numbers. About 1 million Kenyans, 100,000 Kenyans and all those. So we worked with that knowing that if we truncated in small figures, we could. And that's the campaign that we took to the media and said, we held press conferences. And that time, the media as a whole, I did mention that, rallied around the cause. We had one time when we had a press conference, the first press conference at the Stanley that was sponsored by the Media Council and other media stakeholders. We had more than enough. We were a crowd. Everybody wanted the story. Everybody wanted to help. And we did, that was the first part. Put the story, keep the story alive, and make sure that it's running and in the public domain. Second was also, the second layer of approach was to reach out to individuals, churches, religious organizations, and that's how, including the government, we met the PS, we met the PCS, and in that way, the message also went to all the way through the bureaucracy. The ambassador was on our side. In the end, when the message came, at the point when we were still grappling on what to do, we could only say, God is great. That was a great gift for us. It was a gift like no other, because we had only raised about 20-point-something million shillings. And then the message came that, at first it came like a rumor, and it took us time to say, no, we need to hold it. The PS tweeted, and a week before that, one of the journalists who was linked to the group, to the league, reached out us and started sending out messages. We said, now, in a social media world, anything is possible. We didn't want to raise our hopes until we said, let's try and confirm. Then we said, hold it back and confirm. Until the confirmation came. And then the other thing was that it was also announced during Iftar at State House. And that took us back because we didn't have tangible evidence, there was no communication that this had happened.
So when did the communication happen, and when did the money hit the account?
The communication now, it took us now to try and seek the information.
Follow it up.
To follow it up and verify, because the information was out there. So at that point, we were left behind trying to catch up. So when we had the communication, and then the process is now beginning, SUPKEM was very good in this. They confirmed it, and everybody else came in. And it's that time when we said, the money is going to be paid to the account as soon as immediately. And the process was, they're saying, because it was a court matter, it needed to go through the court system and all the verifications and everything.
So you added your 20 point.
Of course, because they were just topping up on what was, in the end, was about one.
It was, our 20 million was at the top.
Yes.
Because early in the new year, the ambassador asked, how much is there? Because there is a possibility of support, but the donor would wish to know how much you yourselves have done. And I quickly called the group accountant, and he didn't hesitate to say what was there. So I communicated the same to His Excellency, the ambassador. And then silence. Silence. In fact, if anything was going to kill me through this process, was the long spells of silence between information and the next information, so that even the message that he's talking about, where some colleague was saying that this man is already in the country, and if you want the story, just talk to me. That hurt, because actually my first reaction was to reach out to the ambassador and say, Your Excellency, really? So where is he? How can Steve be in the country and I don't know? Where is he? He said, he can't. He cannot live without my knowledge because I'm the one to process the travel documents. And indeed, when did you leave? When did you leave the prison?
On Sunday.
On Sunday.
Yes.
So, and this was happening when that alarm or false story about his presence in the country came. It was 15th of March, yeah? And we were quite distressed and dismissed it. But by the 26th of the month, that is now when it became public that indeed and in fact it has happened. Then came another spell of silence from March to July, yeah, early July. That is when now, when did you go to court?
I went to court on that was the first week of July.
Yes, that is when you went to court?
The first Sunday of July.
Yeah.
Yes, so you went to court and again, no, it was earlier because the money...
The one they gave me the 30 days.
Yes.
That was in June.
Yes, that was June.
That was
so they were given...
30 days.
They were called...
For appeal.
Yeah. So the 30 days were given so that neither... To see if any of them is going to appeal. Either Steve or the widow. Yeah. And then the time passed. And so they were now called.
Yes.
Again.
That's when now the first Sunday of July we were called.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what transpired at the time?
That is when now they officially were told to receive the check. But they had some challenges of renewal of documents, which even the judge said does not hinder them from collecting the check.
The money now.
Yes.
And
the final amount.
The final amount, yes, the final amount.
Yeah.
So it was postponed to 3 days later. Yeah.
And
for
that
them to be together.
And at the time you knew you were off.
Yeah. That is the first time I knew that once the check is ready, it's all over.
Yeah.
Given your interactions with the police officer, for example, the law enforcement officer in Saudi Arabia who had told you about the fate of humans, did you know about how executions happen in the kingdom?
Yes. I knew about them.
Traumatizing?
Very. Very, because we are not talking about a goat or a chicken.
Yeah.
We are talking about human life. It's really traumatizing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fast forward.
And for you to be in a block that is full of people on death sentence and for them to be taking them right in front of your eyes, it's really traumatizing.
Okay.
It's not something that you'd wish to see any other day, you know.
Fast forward to your landing at the JKL
Yeah.
and meeting Mom and the team, your family.
Before he lands, there's something that we have to say about even the postponement. From May 20, last year.
2024.
Yes, when the first execution was supposed to be on May 15th.
May 15th, yeah.
Yeah? When it was postponed, it was first postponed to July, yeah? 26th.
And then to November.
And then to November. But to go to November, we had to pay some money to keep the widow going because she expected her full blood money to keep her going. But this had to be done as a subcontract, which was not part of the blood money. Okay. So we had to fork out some money. And when November came, and it seemed like we were so far from the target, this time His Excellency the Ambassador asked for 1 year. Yeah? And for 1 year, the widow wanted an equivalent of 2.6 million shillings, yeah, Kenya shillings equivalent, yeah? And the ambassador, in his wisdom, decided that it's better to chop it,
Yeah.
just in case something happens in between, yeah? So from November up to this month,
Yeah.
July,
Yes.
yeah, we've been paying approximately 140 Kenya, yes, yeah, just to keep the widow going. So it went on, and when we had to pay, even after it was now clear that the file is closed, that traumatized me, because I didn't understand why we should continue to pay when the check has been given out.
Okay.
Yeah, so that has been part of the trauma that we have had as a family.
Yeah. Steve, back home, and you did your final Umrah?
Yes, I did.
In Mecca?
Yes, I did.
And you knew you were off the hook?
Yes.
Fast forward to JKI.
Yes.
And how many years were you away? When was the last time you were in Kenya?
The last time I was in Kenya was 2010.
2010.
Yeah.
So this is 15 years since you left home.
Yeah.
How did you feel?
It was just a feeling that, you know, cannot even explain it, but the joy inside me, just seeing people, my people, that I had not seen for that time, you know, and that thought that maybe I would never have seen them again. It was just out of this world. It was just a feeling out of this world, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Family, children?
Yes, all of them, they were there. My family, parents, my siblings, all of them were there.
Okay. Let's sample the feedback and what Kenyans are saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is on X, formerly Twitter. Okelo Mwalimu says, ask Munyakho the following. Going by his ordeal in the hands of Arabian authorities, what valuable life lessons has he learned? How does he plan to use his experience to touch the lives of those facing similar ordeals? You can respond to that?
Yeah.
Valuable life lessons from prison?
Yeah, exactly. That's a good one. That's a good one.
You can respond to that? Were there any lessons that you have learned?
The lessons, there are quite very many lessons that I learned. Like, for example, like one, the value of life.
Yeah.
That was number one. The value of life. You know, this life that we live now, yeah, you never know what tomorrow holds. And the way these things were like, today you are here, tomorrow you are not there, as per the execution and all this,
Yes.
you tend to say that, you know, you value now this life that, and that chance again that you've been given, you know. And then the other thing is that, you know, you look at the aspect of you know what, one thing I understood and gathered there was the difference between the Sharia law and the common law. That is one thing that I really wanted to know, and it's something that now I've understood that was never there.
Okay. So Sir Nixon says, Brother Munyakho, what did you want that warranted the punishment that you were slapped with? What did you, he means what you did that warranted the punishment that you were slapped with might have been as a result of great anger. What can you say about anger management, especially at workplace?
Anger management at workplace. Well, you know, in the first instance, this anger, you don't just get it like that. it has to be triggered, you see? So you cannot say that I can control it like this. There's no way you can say I can control it like this. Because if you say that I can control it like this, and given the circumstances that will lead you to that anger. So once you tell me about anger management, I don't think there's a way you can put it that I can manage my anger. How do I know that I will get that anger in the first place, or that person will aggravate me to that extent, you know?
So the next is from Pastor Willie Ochieng. So blessed to see my childhood friend, Steve O. I can testify of a very sweet-spirited, humble guy. We thank God for bringing safely home Willie Ochieng. Mark says, Munyakho has fought a good fight. It's now nice time to refresh and start anew once again. Lynn says, Steve O's mother must have had a great relationship with her colleagues while working in the media for them to have embraced the situation as their own and done the impossible to bring him home. I mean, they reached out to every institution they could think of, including the Pope. Engineer Lazaro says, Munyakho's family saw the hand of the Lord. They should thank the media for their role in the miraculous escape from manhunt in Saudi Arabia. This live testimony to those who are losing hope. God is there for you. Very few words. Ken, starting with you. Final comments, 30 seconds.
It is, like I said, a miracle. And in all the processes we've gone through, and Mama's gone through, I would ask that it's important that when we meet challenges, it's also a time to reflect. For me, is at that time when we were going through it, it was very difficult. I was feeling angry, but I forgive. It is something that comes to life. And I think for us, for Steve-O is a rebirth.
Yeah.
And thank you, my media colleagues. Thanks to Citizen. Thanks to everybody else. All the media colleagues. We have become a family. For me, I have a new family in Mama. And all Kenyans, that feeling of being Kenyan, I saw the spirit of who we are that really identifies us as Kenyans, not what we see, the noises. We are good people, and this is what we should tap and espouse more. Forget about the noise. And I'm so grateful. I thank God for this moment. It's a moment, we've spoken here with heavy hearts because of reflection, but it's a happy moment. For me, it's time to smile.
Okay. Yes, Dorothy.
Yeah, I could only echo his words. Just having friends around you whom you can count on, including Ngodi, as I said, who just, you brutally honest that, this one, you can't continue keeping it to yourself because you will not do it. And seeing the amazing outpouring of compassion, not only from Kenya, but even from Kenyans abroad, where people forked out money, total strangers, hitting the 20K level, somebody you never even knew or heard of, and people who just say, I shall give so much every day, 100 shillings can look very little, but if it is every day, you are talking of 3,000 shillings per month on the minimum. If it's a 31-day month, we're talking of 3,100. That was Florence Awimbo and her husband. And they made it a mission, And good old Mudi Awori, long out of circulation, coming out and forking out 100K. At Holy, forking out 1M. There are so many people who just came out because they found it so difficult to keep this. I thank you all. Even if I've not mentioned you, I know you. Retired Ambassador Elkano Dembo, you too. You did what you could do. Aleke Dondo, my former colleague on the NGO Council, you did what you did. There was so much. I cannot name everybody. Family Family stood with me, you know. You start with the family. It starts with the family. If you have no love for the family, you can't have love out there. Friends, it was a big circle. The church groups, you know. It's amazing. It's amazing. And I can never stop talking about the Abigails. Yeah? Those are my women's fellowship.
Okay.
Yeah. It is amazing. The love out there, you know, it has sustained me because there were many low moments, as he said. But, yeah.
Steve, final comments.
Despite the fact that I'm happy to be back home, I just deeply regret whatever happened. And I think it's a phase that gradually I'll have to get out of it as time goes by. But really, whatever happened, I'm deeply, deeply sorry about it, and I really don't know. But I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the gift of new life again, and we'll pick it from there.
Okay. Thank you. Much appreciated. Steve, asante sana. Munyakho Abdul Karim, many thanks. Mama Dorothy Kweyu, much appreciated.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
A mother and senior in the profession, once who had applied her trade. Many thanks. Ken Bosire, much appreciated.
Thank you.
For your presence as well. A member of the Bring Back Steve campaign, and the 51-year-old Kenyan is here with us. Your generosity has been immense, and from a step away from death in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, he is back home. The campaign sustained by Ken, Bring Him Back Home, has been also immense, though at some point they lost hope, but the intervention of the Muslim World League has also been instrumental. Mama Dorothy has been the mother figure in that whole campaign here tonight, detailing the accounts and the moments of low and finally the highs of the family. And the bench, of course, at one point, one of the critical junctures of the campaign to get Steve back home. Thank you for watching this broadcast and hearing the accounts of the son, the mother, and the professionally adopted son. And we'll see you next week here on the broadcast. Till then, good night and God bless you. Thank you.